Hello, my amazing friend. Today, I want to take you on a journey through dreams, beauty, pain, and heartbreak. This is not just a lesson in English. It's a story about a girl who became the most famous woman in the world, and yet felt the most alone. Her name was Marilyn Monroe, and once you hear her story, you'll never forget her. So sit back, listen carefully, and feel every word, because this is not just about learning English. It's about learning life. Long before she was Marilyn Monroe, she was simply Norma Jean. She was born on June 1st, 1926 in Los Angeles, California. But this was no fairy tale beginning. Her father was never there. Her mother, Gladys, was sick and struggled with mental illness. Norma Jean never knew what it felt like to belong. She moved from one foster home to another. Sometimes people were kind to her, but often they were not. She spent parts of her childhood in an orphanage, surrounded by fear and confusion. But even in the darkness, she dreamed. She dreamed of love, of attention, of becoming someone special. And she held on to that dream with all her heart. At the age of 16, Norma Jean married her neighbor, Jim Dougherty. It wasn't a love story. It was survival. If she didn't marry, she would be sent back to the orphanage. So she chose safety, not passion. While Jim was away at war, Norma Jean took a job at a factory. She wore coveralls and worked like everyone else. But one day, a photographer visited the factory and saw her. He said, "You should be in pictures." And just like that, her world began to change. She started modeling. The camera loved her. Her soft smile, her sparkling eyes, her golden hair. She dyed it blonde, changed her style, and slowly, Norma Jean disappeared. In her place, a new name was born, Marilyn Monroe. It sounded like magic. It was magic. Hollywood saw her and the world couldn't look away. But what they didn't see was that she was still the same scared little girl inside. Marilyn's early roles were small. A line here, a smile there. But she lit up every screen. Her presence was impossible to ignore. She studied acting, read books, and tried to be more than what people expected. But in the 1950s, Hollywood didn't care much about a woman's mind. They cared about her figure, her laugh, her beauty. And Marilyn became a symbol, not of power, but of fantasy. She was cast as the dumb blonde again and again. But the truth was, Marilyn was not dumb. She was thoughtful, deep, intelligent. But people didn't want the real Marilyn. They wanted the dream. She became a superstar. Her movies were hits. Her photos sold millions. People lined up to see her. Men adored her. Women tried to be her. But fame is like a flame. It shines, but it burns. Marilyn felt like she was losing control of her own life. The studio decided what she wore, how she looked, what she said. And slowly, Marilyn began to break. She struggled with anxiety. She had trouble sleeping. She often felt insecure, like she wasn't good enough. She began taking pills to sleep, then pills to wake up. Her emotions became a roller coaster. She was late to film sets. She forgot her lines. Directors were frustrated. Co-stars were confused. But inside, Marilyn was just trying to hold herself together. And what she wanted more than anything was love. She craved it, needed it. She married 3 times, each time hoping it would last. First to Jim, the man she married young. Then to Joe DiMaggio, the famous baseball player. He loved her deeply, but he was jealous, controlling. He didn't like the way other men stared at her. He wanted her to quit acting, to stay home. But Marilyn was already too big to stop. Their marriage ended in only 9 months. Her third husband was Arthur Miller, a brilliant playwright. With him, Marilyn felt seen, not just as a body, but as a mind. She read his work. He wrote for her. They believed in each other. But even that love fell apart. Marilyn had miscarriages. She wanted to be a mother, but her body said no. She blamed herself. She felt like a failure. And slowly, even Arthur walked away. Behind the camera flashes and movie premieres, Marilyn was deeply alone. She once said, "Fame doesn't fulfill you. It warms you a bit. But that warmth is temporary." She had millions of fans, but very few true friends. The media followed her every move. They printed lies. They called her names. Difficult, crazy, unstable. No one tried to understand her pain. In 1962, Marilyn was fired from her last movie, Something's Got to Give. The studio was tired of her absences and mood swings. Marilyn tried to fight back. She gave interviews. She tried to show the world she was still strong. But inside, she was falling apart. Rumors began to spread about her relationships with powerful men. Some said she had an affair with President John F. Kennedy. Others said she knew secrets she shouldn't. The truth? We may never know. But one thing was certain. Marilyn was in danger. Not from others, but from herself. On the night of August 4th, 1962, Marilyn Monroe was alone in her Brentwood home. She spoke on the phone to her friends. Some said she sounded tired. Others said she sounded sad. That night, she took too many pills. Whether it was an accident or something more, we still don't know. But by the morning of August 5th, the world had lost its brightest star. Marilyn Monroe was gone. She was only 36 years old. The news shocked the world. Fans cried, friends mourned, the media exploded. Photos of her body were printed. The mystery of her death became a puzzle people still try to solve today. But beyond all the questions, one truth remains. Marilyn Monroe was not just a pretty face. She was a human being, fragile, hopeful, intelligent, and complex. She was a woman searching for peace in a world that only wanted perfection. So, what can we learn from Marilyn's story? First, we learn that appearances can lie. Just because someone is smiling doesn't mean they are happy. Marilyn looked perfect, but she was struggling inside. Second, we learn that fame is not the same as love. Marilyn had millions of admirers, but what she really wanted was one person who would hold her and understand her. Third, we learn that mental health matters. Marilyn's pain wasn't just in her mind, it was in her soul. And if someone had truly listened, maybe she would still be here today. But most of all, Marilyn Monroe teaches us this: never stop dreaming. She came from nothing. She had no father, no safety, no protection, but she dreamed of becoming someone. And she did. She became the most iconic woman of the 20th century. She proved that even a broken girl can become a legend. That even in sadness, there can be light. Today, Marilyn's image still appears everywhere. In art, in fashion, in music. Her voice still echoes in old recordings. Her face still sells posters. But I hope now, when you see her, you don't just see the blonde hair and red lips. I hope you see the little girl named Norma Jean, who wanted to be loved, who wanted to matter, who wanted to be free. And I hope you remember this. Your story matters too. No matter where you start, no matter how broken you feel, you can dream, you can rise, and you can shine. Thank you for listening, my friend. Thank you for learning. And thank you for remembering Marilyn Monroe. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because every story helps us grow, and every word brings us closer. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep learning, and never forget, you are not alone.